We are one day away from the first day of summer. That means pool days, means popsicles, it means cookouts, and it means, extreme heat. Today, we're digging into everything that you need to know to stay safe and save money during the summer months. We're going to start with meteorologist Eric Chilton. You know, the temperature increase seems to be just perfect timing for the start of summer, Eric.
Isn't it? And I have tomorrow off of all days. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out what we're doing here. Temperatures are going to be a little bit all over the place in the short term, but then we lock in, right? So we're looking at 66 for that overnight low tonight, and then the high tomorrow of 88 degrees. Now, that's not that bad. Normal, we should be in the mid to upper 80s, so we're not far off the mark with that. But after tomorrow, that's when the heat really starts to kick in. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I went a little bit lower than some of the forecast models. Some of them went as high as 96 degrees by Sunday. We're trimming that back, but I still have a 94 in there for now. It's going to be hot, folks, and big ridge of high pressure over our area is kind of locking in the heat. We're under this dome, right, and we just kind of heat up continually. Each day we get warmer and warmer from tomorrow, or really from today to tomorrow and all the way through into the weekend. We do go back to the low 90s, if you want to call that cooling off. That happens, but by next week. But your short-term forecast, we're mostly sunny Thursday through Saturday, so really it's just a temperature outlook. 88 Thursday, 91 Friday, 93 Saturday, 94 on Sunday. We have a very slight chance of a late day pop-up isolated shower, but do not hold your breath for that. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're back to the low 90s.
While it's about to get hot here in the Triad, a heat dome is covering much of the northern United States today. Nearly 75 million people are under an excessive heat warning or heat advisory across 17 states. Let's take a look at that heat map. 265 million Americans will see temperatures hit 90 degrees this week. That's impressive. Compare these crazy temperatures from around the country to Greensboro. Just outside of Boston, temperatures are still at 90 degrees, even though the city is 500 miles north of Greensboro. When I think of Detroit, I normally think of their cold winters, but it's also 90 degrees right now. Southwest is already seeing 100-degree plus temperatures. You see Phoenix is at 101 and expects to get hotter. Well, with the summer solstice starting tomorrow, meteorologist Christian Morgan explains the science of going from season to season.
Well, we've had plenty of hot weather, and it's felt like summer, but it hasn't technically been summer. And you know we have to be technical about these things. Summer will officially start Thursday at 4:50 in the afternoon. Why? Well, that's when the summer solstice happens, and we have two of those every year. We have the summer solstice and we have the winter solstice. And what it means is that one of the Earth's poles is tilted at its maximum toward the sun. So for us now, for the summer solstice, the North Pole is tilted at its maximum toward the sun. So we have our longest days and our warmest days here in the northern hemisphere, while the southern hemisphere has the opposite, their shortest days and their coolest days. At the North Pole, there's 24 hours of light. At the South Pole, there's 24 hours of darkness when the summer solstice happens. And of course, we have some warmer weather to go. It's a gradual improvement. Average high right now is 86. By the beginning of July, it's 88. And in the middle of July, our average high temperature gets up to 89. That's the warmest that it gets all year long. Now, of course, you just use this as a guide. We can have warmer days than fact. In fact, we're talking about some in the low to mid 90s for this coming weekend. But once we get into the end of July and head toward August, we start to reverse course with that heat ever so slightly. And the same kind of thing happens to our daylight. Of course, Thursday will be our longest day of the year in terms of daylight. Sun will rise at about 6:02. The sun will set at just around 8:39. But over the next 2 weeks, we already start to see us going back the other way. And in about the next month, sunrises will be back to 6:16 and the sunset will be back to 8:35.
All right, let's talk about your health and the heat. It's not scary like a tornado, but heat is the most dangerous and deadly weather event. Doctors say heat dangers can add up quickly, so you always need to be aware of just how much time you're spending outside. Health issues can start with heat cramps and then get more serious with heat exhaustion, and heat stroke can be deadly. Symptoms can vary, but the signs of heat exhaustion are dizziness, fatigue, cramps, and a rapid pulse. During heat stroke, people will often get confused. They may start vomiting. They could stop sweating. Doctors are on high alert for these symptoms during the summer.
We're prepared to manage that. There's all sorts of things that we can do to both hydrate patients as well as manage their core temperature by cooling them either with intravenous cooled fluids, or we have other ways of doing that as well.
Well, doctors say the heat can be especially dangerous for people with existing medical conditions as well as the elderly and children. The hot summer weather also comes with an increase in hurricanes. In fact, the Atlantic's first tropical storm, Alberto, formed over the Gulf of Mexico today. We're going to take a look at the satellite image from the National Weather Service. Strong winds, rain clouds moving towards South Texas. Alberto is expected to bring heavy rain, coastal flooding, and gusty winds to the Texas and northeastern Mexico coastline all the way through tomorrow. Of course, you can stay prepared this summer and hurricane season with our free WFMY News 2 weather app. You'll find the most recent updates and accurate weather coverage in the Triad. Well, the start of summer means your air conditioning. It's going to be working overtime and running up your energy bill. Here's a common misconception about saving money on your bills during the summer. When it comes to setting the thermostat, you might think keeping the temperature of the house the same throughout the day will save you money. That's not true, they say. Keeping the temperature a minimum of 7 degrees higher when you're not home can help you save energy. The Department of Energy says the smaller the difference between the outdoor and the indoor temperature, the smaller your bill will be. Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 6, I'm going to be talking about the easiest and the cheapest way to keep your AC running right. And there's a sneak peek right there. Enjoy your first day of summer tomorrow. Stay safe. We'll be right back.